When a man hurts you, it feels like the ground shifts beneath your feet. You wonder why. Why would he do this? And why does it hurt so much? Your heart tells you to react, to let him know exactly how he made you feel. But what if the most powerful move isn't to react at all? What if the way to truly confuse him is by showing him that his actions don't control your spirit? Steve Harvey often says that when a man hurts you, the best way to leave him speechless is by choosing not to play his game. See, most men expect drama. They're prepared for anger, for tears, for endless conversations about what went wrong. They expect you to chase them with questions or explanations, hoping for some kind of closure. But what they are never ready for, what truly shakes their ego, is a woman who walks away with dignity and grace. A woman who doesn't fight or argue but instead chooses peace. A woman who shows that his actions don't define her worth. It's not about being cold or unfeeling. It's about recognizing that your value doesn't depend on his approval or his apology. And that is how you confuse him. You focus on yourself. You glow up. You let your silence do the talking. Because a man who thinks he has power over your emotions never expects you to simply walk away. If you've ever been hurt and struggled to find your strength again, stick around. This video will guide you through how to regain your power without losing your peace. And if you're ready to learn how to truly confuse the man who hurt you, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your journey to emotional freedom starts now. The power of silence. Imagine this. A man expects you to break down after he hurts you. He's prepared for the phone calls, the messages, maybe even a dramatic social media post. In his mind, that's how it usually goes. He's used to women reacting with emotion, with passion, with pain. It makes him feel powerful, like he still holds a part of your heart. But when you choose silence, it's like flipping the script. Suddenly, he's left, wondering. His mind races, asking himself why you didn't react like he expected. That silence becomes louder than any argument. It makes him question his own actions. Did he underestimate you? Did he lose something valuable without even realizing it? Steve Harvey often talks about the power of silence. How choosing peace over chaos is not weakness but wisdom. See, when a man hurts you and you react immediately, you're giving him control over your emotions. But when you step back, take a breath, and choose not to react, you're telling him that his actions are not the center of your world. Silence doesn't mean you're ignoring your pain. It means you're choosing to process it on your own terms, without giving him the satisfaction of seeing your struggle. And that's power. Focus on your glow up. Now let's get one thing straight. Walking away doesn't mean you're weak. It means you value yourself enough to not let someone else's actions drag you down. The best way to show him that he didn't break you? Become the best version of yourself. Focus on your own growth. Get stronger, physically and emotionally. Hit the gym, not because you want to make him jealous, but because you deserve to feel good in your own skin. Pick up that hobby you've been putting off. Start a new project that excites you. Surround yourself with people who support you and remind you of your worth. When he sees you thriving, it will confuse him more than any angry words ever could. Because men are wired to expect that their absence will leave a void. They assume that once they walk away, you'll sit around missing them. But when he checks up on you and sees that you're happier, healthier, and moving forward without him, that's when reality hits him. Steve Harvey's advice is clear. Make your life so full, so beautiful, that his absence feels insignificant. Because the glow-up isn't about proving anything to him. It's about proving to yourself that you are more than enough. Let him feel your absence. When you remove yourself from the chaos, from the late-night arguments, the dramatic texts, the need to prove your worth, you create space. Space for healing, space for growth, and space for him to realize what he lost. Men don't always understand your worth until you're gone. They don't appreciate your presence until they feel your absence. Steve Harvey often says that a man doesn't change because you tell him to. He changes when he realizes what he took for granted. When you walk away without a scene, without trying to make him understand, it forces him to reflect. Your absence becomes a mirror that shows him what life looks like without you. And trust me, that's more powerful than any words you could ever say. Shift your energy back to you. One of the biggest mistakes women make after being hurt is obsessing over how to make him regret his actions. You spend days and nights thinking about how to show him what he lost. But here's the secret. The best revenge is no revenge at all. It's living your life so fully that his presence or absence no longer matters. Invest that energy back into yourself. Find your joy. Build your confidence. Be so busy building your own happiness that you don't even have time to think about him. That's what truly confuses a man. When you stop trying to make him see your worth and start living like you've already found it within yourself. Steve Harvey's words are simple, but profound. When a man realizes that you're no longer trying to fix things, that you're not waiting for him to see your value, that's when he starts to wonder. Did he just lose something irreplaceable? Control your reactions. Own your power. When a man hurts you, your first instinct might be to lash out, confront him, or seek closure. But Steve Harvey often reminds us that reacting immediately means you're giving away your power. See, men expect that reaction. They know it's coming. They even prepare themselves for it, thinking, she's going to be mad. She's going to cry. She's going to make a scene. But what they're not prepared for is composure. When you remain calm, when you respond instead of react, it's like you've taken the script he expected and rewritten it entirely. Suddenly, he doesn't know how to handle it. He's left wondering, did she even care? Why isn't she reacting the way I thought she would? Here's the truth. Reacting emotionally makes him feel like he still has control over you. But responding calmly, or sometimes not at all, that shows strength. That shows that his actions do not define your peace. Take a moment to pause. Breathe. Remind yourself that you don't owe anyone an immediate response. In that silence, you're not ignoring your pain. You're giving yourself time to process it. And that shows him that you're not a woman who can be easily manipulated. Build a life he's no longer part of. The most powerful response to betrayal isn't to explain your pain or argue your worth. It's to build a life so fulfilling that his presence, your absence, becomes irrelevant. Think about it this way. If a man expects you to fall apart, the last thing he expects is to see you thriving without him. Start focusing on your personal goals. Take that class you've always wanted to join. Travel somewhere you've never been. Post those pictures where you're genuinely happy, not to make him jealous, but because you're genuinely rediscovering yourself. Steve Harvey emphasizes the importance of not looking back. Don't let the fear of being alone make you hold on to someone who treated you like an option. Create a routine that focuses on your well-being. Eat healthier, work out, pick up a new hobby, celebrate your small wins. These things may seem insignificant, but over time they build a foundation of self-respect and resilience. When he finally checks up on you, and trust me, he will, he won't see the woman he hurt. He'll see someone stronger, wiser, more fulfilled. And that realization, it will hit harder than any argument you could have had. Refuse to be his emotional punching bag. Sometimes men think that no matter how much they mess up, you'll always be there, ready to forgive, ready to listen, ready to explain why what they did hurt you. They assume that their behavior doesn't have real consequences because you'll always give them another chance. But Steve Harvey points out that self-respect means knowing when to walk away. It's recognizing that being there for someone who doesn't value you is not loyalty. It's self-sabotage. When he hurts you, don't immediately try to figure out why. Don't ask him to justify his actions or beg for explanations. Instead, take that step back. Reflect on your own needs. You deserve to be with someone who values you without needing reminders of your worth. And when you make that decision to walk away, make it final. Don't let his words pull you back in. Don't let his apologies make you forget why you left in the first place. Men will often say just enough to make you reconsider, but actions always speak louder than words. Give him the gift of missing you. One of the biggest mistakes you can make after being hurt is staying so accessible that he never really feels your absence. If you're constantly answering his texts, checking his social media, or finding excuses to see him. You're showing him that you're still there. But when you create distance, when you let him wonder what you're doing and who you're with, it forces him to reflect. He starts realizing that the comfort of knowing you're always around has disappeared. That's when he starts questioning his choices. Steve Harvey teaches that the power of mystery should never be underestimated. Men are intrigued by what they can't predict. When you cut off that predictable reaction, the angry texts, the hurtful words, the need to explain yourself, it makes them uncomfortable. It makes them curious, and that curiosity is what starts eating away at their confidence. You're not playing games. You're protecting your peace. You're teaching him that your energy isn't something to be taken for granted. And most importantly, you're proving to yourself that you don't need anyone who doesn't see your value. Focus on your inner peace. One of the hardest lessons to learn is that not every betrayal deserves a reaction. When someone hurts you, it's natural to want answers. You want to know why they did it, what went wrong, and if they ever really cared. But sometimes, the most healing answer you can give yourself is to not ask those questions at all. Steve Harvey often emphasizes that inner peace is the real victory. When you choose peace over conflict, it doesn't mean you're avoiding reality. It means you're choosing to protect your spirit. You're choosing not to give your energy to someone who didn't value it in the first place. Imagine this. Instead of sending that angry text, you decide to go for a walk. Instead of posting a bitter message on social media, you spend an evening with friends who make you feel valued. Instead of replaying the hurt in your mind, you put on your favorite song, cook yourself a nice meal, and remind yourself that you deserve to feel good. By doing this, you're shifting your focus from what he did to how you're choosing to respond. You're reminding yourself that your happiness doesn't depend on his apology or his understanding. It's about reclaiming your life, one peaceful decision at a time. Show him you're unbothered. Here's the thing. Most men expect a reaction because it feeds their ego. When they see you upset, it reassures them that they still matter to you. But when they see you thriving, unbothered, and focused on your own growth, that's when they start questioning everything. Steve Harvey says that nothing confuses a man more than a woman who doesn't break down after being hurt because he expected drama. But instead, he sees you moving forward with grace. That's not what he prepared for. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about genuinely focusing on your well-being to the point where his actions no longer dictate your emotions. You're not putting on a show for him. You're genuinely investing in your own happiness. So next time he checks up on you, let him see a woman who has found her peace. Post that picture where you're genuinely happy, not to make him jealous, but because you're living your best life. Don't block him just to prove a point, but don't be available for his late-night texts either. Let him see that you're not waiting around and that you've learned to find joy outside of his presence. Redefine your standards. One of the most powerful things you can do after being hurt is to reassess your standards. Steve Harvey often speaks about the importance of knowing your worth and never settling for less. You see, when you know what you deserve, you stop entertaining situations that compromise your peace. Take a moment to reflect. What kind of love do you truly want? Do you want someone who respects you even when things are tough? Do you want a relationship where your feelings are valued and your boundaries are honored? When you make a conscious decision to raise your standards, you send a message not only to him but also to yourself. You're saying, I am worthy of love that doesn't come with confusion or pain. And when you start living with that mindset, it naturally shifts the way you allow people to treat you. Don't just say you deserve better. Start living like you do. Set boundaries and stick to them. Don't accept half-hearted apologies just because you're lonely. And most importantly, don't lower your standards to fit into someone else's world. You're not meant to be an option. You're meant to be the choice. Let your progress speak. When a man hurts you and expects you to fall apart, nothing is more confusing to him than seeing you build a better life without him. Imagine him scrolling through your social media, expecting to see hints of sadness. But instead, he finds pictures of you smiling, achieving, and moving forward. Steve Harvey would tell you that success is the best response. When you continue to thrive despite his absence, it forces him to question his own worth. It makes him wonder if he was the problem all along. Because in his mind, losing you was supposed to be your downfall, not your breakthrough. Focus on your career, your passions, your friendships, and your own growth. Let him see that you didn't just survive his betrayal. You flourished because of it. You didn't break. You built a new version of yourself that doesn't depend on his validation. This isn't about making him regret losing you. It's about choosing yourself, fully, unapologetically, and without looking back. Because the truth is, when a man realizes that his absence did not weaken you, but actually strengthened you, it shatters his perception of control. Embrace your healing. One of the hardest parts of moving on is letting go of the idea that he will someday see your worth. Steve Harvey's wisdom reminds us that not everyone will appreciate you, and that's okay. Healing doesn't come from proving yourself to someone who didn't value you. It comes from embracing who you are despite the pain. Allow yourself to feel. Acknowledge the hurt, but don't let it define you. Healing is not about erasing the past. It's about growing beyond it. Let your heart be gentle with itself. You don't have to be perfect or healed overnight. Give yourself permission to be human, and when you're ready, let your heart open again. Not for him, but for the life you deserve. There's a version of you on the other side of this pain that is stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Hold on to that vision. Shift from reaction to response. One of the most important lessons Steve Harvey teaches is the difference between reacting and responding. When a man hurts you, the natural instinct is to react, to say something back, to defend yourself, to make him understand just how much he hurt you. But here's the thing. Reactions are instant, emotional, and often regrettable. They give away your power. Responding, on the other hand, is thoughtful, intentional, and controlled. It means taking a step back, assessing the situation, and choosing how to move forward without letting emotions dictate your actions. When you respond rather than react, you're showing him that his actions didn't break you. They just made you wiser. The next time you feel the urge to react, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Will reacting change anything for the better? When you choose to respond instead of react, you reclaim your power. You set the tone. You decide that his mistake will not become your chaos. And here's the real magic. When he sees that you didn't react the way he expected, it leaves him confused. It makes him question whether he ever truly knew you. Because a woman who masters her emotions is a woman who can't be manipulated. Rewrite your own story. After being hurt, it's easy to fall into the trap of letting that pain define you. You might catch yourself thinking, why did this happen to me? Or what did I do wrong? But Steve Harvey often says that the real power lies in rewriting the story you tell yourself. Don't make his betrayal the centerpiece of your life story. Instead, make it a chapter. One that taught you resilience, one that strengthened your character, one that made you see your own worth more clearly. Imagine you're the author of your own life. You have the pen in your hand. Are you going to write about how his actions broke you? Or are you going to write about how you rose from the ashes, stronger than ever? Choose the latter. Choose to be the hero of your own story, not the victim. When you change your narrative, you also change the way you feel about the situation. You shift from feeling powerless to feeling empowered. You no longer see yourself as the woman he hurt, but as the woman who overcame, healed, and became unstoppable. Stop explaining your worth. Here's a hard truth. Some people will never see your value, no matter how much you explain yourself. Steve Harvey puts it simply, you don't need to convince anyone to love you. If a man doesn't see your worth, that's not your problem to fix. Think about it. How many times have you tried to explain your side, hoping that he would finally understand how much he hurt you? How often have you tried to make him see the good in you, as if proving your worth could change his mind? The reality is, your value doesn't decrease just because someone else failed to see it. Stop explaining. Stop proving. Instead, live in a way that reflects your own standards. Respect yourself enough to walk away from people who make you feel small. And when he realizes that you're not fighting for his attention anymore, that's when he'll start questioning himself. He'll wonder why you're not chasing him like he thought you would. And that's the moment he'll feel the impact of his choices. Protect your emotional space. One of the most important things Steve Harvey teaches is to protect your emotional space like it's sacred. Because it is. When a man disrespects you or takes your kindness for granted, he's trying to invade that space. He's testing how far he can go without losing you. But your heart is not a playground. Your feelings are not disposable. And when you set boundaries, real unwavering boundaries, you're telling him that your love comes with respect. You're showing him that he doesn't get unlimited chances to hurt you, blocking his number, removing him from your social media, or even just deciding not to answer his calls. It's not about being petty. It's about saying, I choose peace over pain. You're teaching him that once you've made up your mind, there's no going back. Protecting your emotional space means surrounding yourself with people who uplift you. It means not letting anyone disrupt the peace you fought so hard to create, because at the end of the day, your happiness is your responsibility. Reclaim your identity. Sometimes when someone hurts us, we start to question ourselves. Was I not good enough? Did I do something to deserve this? But Steve Harvey makes it clear. Your worth is not defined by how someone else treated you. You were enough before him, and you're still enough without him. Don't let his inability to appreciate you make you doubt your own value. Reclaim who you were before you met him. Reconnect with your passions, your dreams, your sense of self. It's easy to lose yourself when you're wrapped up in someone else's world. But now that you're free from that pain, it's time to rediscover the parts of you that you put on hold. Travel, learn, create, and most importantly, love yourself the way you once loved him. When you make yourself a priority, your energy changes. You become radiant, confident, and sure of your own path. And that kind of self-assuredness? It's magnetic. It draws people to you, but most importantly, it reminds you that you never needed his validation to be complete. Steve Harvey's wisdom always comes down to one simple truth. You are stronger than you think. Sometimes, you just need to step back from the noise and realize that you have the power to choose how this story ends. When a man hurts you, don't let that pain become your identity. Let it become your turning point. Let it be the reason you decided to love yourself harder, protect your peace, and never settle for less again. And remember, the greatest victory isn't making him regret what he did. It's proving to yourself that you didn't need him to become the woman you are destined to be. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful response is choosing peace, growth, and unwavering self-respect. Embrace your own strength. There's something powerful about realizing that your happiness doesn't depend on anyone else. When a man hurts you, it's easy to feel like your world is falling apart. You might feel like you'll never get over the pain, or that life won't be the same without him. But Steve Harvey teaches that your strength lies in how you choose to move forward. The real glow-up isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, and spiritual. It's the moment you decide that no one else gets to control your peace. You don't have to act tough, you just have to be resilient. That means allowing yourself to feel the pain without letting it consume you. It means giving yourself permission to heal on your own terms. Take each day as it comes. Some days, you'll feel strong, and other days the memories might creep back in. That's okay. Healing is not a straight line. But every time you choose yourself over the hurt, every time you refuse to go back to the person who disrespected you, you're proving to yourself that your strength is real. Let him see that you didn't just survive, you thrived. And when he realizes that your life kept moving forward without him, it'll dawn on him that he wasn't as essential as he thought. Silence speaks volumes. Sometimes the most impactful thing you can do is say nothing at all. Steve Harvey often talks about the power of silence when someone has wronged you. It's not about giving the silent treatment out of spite. It's about choosing not to waste your energy on someone who didn't value it in the first place. Think about it. A man who expects you to cry, yell, or plead is never prepared for calm silence. When you walk away with your head held high and your heart intact, it's like taking away his power to hurt you. It leaves him questioning his own actions because he never expected that level of grace from you. Silence forces reflection. It makes him think about why you didn't react the way he anticipated. It makes him wonder if he ever really knew you at all. While he's left contemplating, you're busy building your own happiness. You're giving yourself the space to heal without letting his chaos follow you. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't owe him an elaborate breakdown of how he hurt you. Let your absence do the talking. Let your silence speak of self-respect, of knowing your worth, and of choosing peace over drama. Master your emotions. It's tempting to vent, to call him out, to let him know how deeply he hurt you. But Steve Harvey would tell you that true mastery lies in controlling your reactions. Don't let his actions dictate your mood. Don't give him the satisfaction of seeing you crumble. Instead, channel that energy into self-improvement. Focus on your well-being. Journal your feelings, talk to a friend, or practice mindfulness. Transform your pain into motivation. Let your growth be a testament to your resilience. Men often don't expect women to move on without making a scene. They think that as long as you're upset, they still have a place in your life. But when you choose calm over chaos, you're teaching him that his actions did not define your happiness. Remember this: your emotions are valid, but they are yours to manage. You don't owe anyone the spectacle of your pain. Move quietly, heal privately, and let your strength be seen in your progress, not in your reactions. Forgive without forgetting. Forgiveness doesn't mean you're giving him a free pass. It doesn't mean you're okay with how he treated you. It simply means you're choosing to release the weight of anger from your heart. Holding on to resentment only keeps you tied to the person who hurt you. Steve Harvey often says that forgiveness is not about them, it's about you. When you forgive, you're not erasing what happened. You're choosing to not let it control your present. It's about reclaiming your peace and deciding that your happiness is more important than holding on to bitterness. But forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning from the experience and setting boundaries to ensure you're not disrespected again. You can forgive and still decide that this person no longer belongs in your life. You can forgive while moving on. When you do this, you take back your power. You prove that you are in control of your healing, not him. And that kind of strength, it's something most men never see coming. Live like you've already moved on. The best way to confuse a man who hurt you is to live like his presence was never essential to your happiness. Go out with friends, discover new interests, immerse yourself in projects that make you feel fulfilled. When he sees that you're not just surviving but thriving, it challenges his perception of how much control he thought he had. Steve Harvey often talks about letting your happiness be your message. You don't have to post about how much better your life is now. Just live it. Live in a way that makes it clear that you're not looking back. Live in a way that shows that your world didn't collapse just because he walked out. Men who hurt you often expect that they've left a lasting scar. But when he sees you confident, radiant, and happy, it sends a message. You are irreplaceable. You never needed his validation to feel whole. When he realizes his mistake, there will come a moment when he realizes that his actions didn't break you. They set you free. He'll see that his absence didn't leave you empty. It gave you space to grow. And that's when it'll hit him. He lost someone rare, someone resilient. By the time he comes to that realization, you'll be too far along your journey to even care. You'll have grown past the pain. You'll have become stronger because you chose yourself. And when he tries to come back, don't forget what Steve Harvey says. A man who truly values you won't put himself in a position to lose you in the first place. Sometimes the hardest part of moving on is accepting that you may never get the apology you deserve. But once you realize that your peace is more important than his regret, you stop waiting for closure and start living like you already have it. Remember, your worth is not determined by how someone else treated you. It's determined by how you choose to respond, how you choose to move forward, and how you rebuild yourself after the pain. Steve Harvey's message is simple but powerful. Choose yourself. Choose peace. Choose to be the woman who didn't let betrayal define her. Because in the end, your glow-up is not just a reaction, it's a declaration of your strength, and that's the ultimate way to confuse a man who thought he could break you. By proving that you were unbreakable all along. Stop trying to change him. One of the biggest traps after being hurt is thinking you can change him. That if you just explain your pain enough, he'll finally understand and become the man you need. But Steve Harvey says it best. You can't change a man who doesn't want to change himself. Men don't change because you cry, plead, or remind them of what they did wrong. They change when they realize that their actions cost them something irreplaceable. They change when they feel the weight of your absence. Stop trying to fix him or the situation. Instead, focus on fixing your own heart. Let go of the fantasy that he will suddenly become the person you wished he was. Accept that he showed you his true colors and believe him the first time. When you stop trying to change him, you set yourself free from the exhausting cycle of disappointment. You give yourself permission to move forward without holding on to false hope. You reclaim the energy you once poured into someone who wasn't willing to give it back. And the irony? The moment you stop chasing his potential and start living your own truth, that's when he'll start noticing the change in you. He'll see that his actions didn't just hurt you, they transformed you. And that's when he'll realize he lost something valuable. Rebuild your self-worth. It's easy to doubt yourself after someone you loved hurts you. You might think, was I not good enough? Did I do something to deserve this? But Steve Harvey teaches that your worth isn't determined by someone else's actions. Sometimes we place our value in how much someone loves us, how much they're willing to fight for us. But when they walk away or betray us, it can feel like a personal failure. It's not. It's a reflection of their choices, not your value. Start by affirming your own worth every single day. Look in the mirror and remind yourself that you are deserving of love, respect, and honesty. Make a list of the qualities that make you unique. Your kindness, your strength, your resilience. Celebrate those parts of you that remain untouched by his betrayal. Rebuilding your self-worth is not about proving yourself to him. It's about proving to yourself that you never needed his validation in the first place. Because the truth is, a man who truly values you would never put himself in a position to lose you. Learn to love your own company. One of the hardest parts of moving on is adjusting to the quiet, those moments when you're alone with your thoughts. But Steve Harvey often says that solitude is not loneliness, it's an opportunity to reconnect with yourself. When you learn to love your own company, you become unshakable. You're no longer seeking validation from someone else because you're content with who you are. You start doing things for yourself, watching your favorite shows, exploring new hobbies, cooking meals just for you. Think about this. If you can be happy on your own, then no one's absence can truly break you. When a man realizes that you're not desperate for companionship, that you thrive even in solitude, it confuses him. He expects you to feel incomplete without him, but instead, you become whole on your own. Fill your days with things that bring you joy. Make your space a sanctuary. Treat yourself with the same kindness you once gave him. And when he sees that you found contentment without him, it'll make him question why he ever thought you couldn't live without him. Turn your pain into purpose. Sometimes the most powerful transformations come from the deepest pain. Steve Harvey believes that when life knocks you down, it's setting you up for a comeback. Your heartbreak doesn't have to be the end. It can be the beginning of a new chapter. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this pain to grow stronger? Maybe it's time to focus on your health, your career, your dreams. Use the energy that you once gave him to build something meaningful for yourself. Write down your goals. Make a plan to achieve them. And every time you feel the pain creeping back, remind yourself that you're moving forward, not backward. Your Michael, past doesn't define your future unless you let it. When he sees you chasing your dreams instead of chasing him, it'll challenge his perception of you. He thought he was your center, but now he sees you thriving on your own path. And that realization, it hits harder than any words you could have said. Acknowledge the blessing of losing him. Steve Harvey has a saying, "Rejection is God's protection." Sometimes the very thing that broke your heart is the thing that saved your soul. Maybe you didn't see it then, but losing him was a blessing in disguise. Think about it. What did his presence truly bring to your life? Did he uplift you, respect you, cherish you? Or did he make you doubt yourself, feel small, and question your worth? Losing someone who didn't value you is not a loss. It's a gain. It's gaining your freedom, your self-respect, and your opportunity to find someone who truly deserves you. Thank the situation for teaching you what you no longer need. Be grateful for the clarity it brought, even if it came through pain. Sometimes it takes losing someone to find yourself, and when he realizes that you didn't just move on, you moved up. That's when he'll understand that he wasn't the one who left. You did. You left the version of yourself that needed him and became someone stronger, wiser, and happier. Steve Harvey's advice is clear. Don't let anyone make you question your worth. Walk away from anything that doesn't serve your peace. Choose yourself every single time. You are not the woman who begged, pleaded, or settled for less. You are the woman who chose growth over comfort, dignity over drama, and self-love over settling. And that is how you truly confuse the man who thought you needed him. At the end of the day, it's not about making him regret losing you. It's about proving to yourself that you deserve better. And when you live with that kind of confidence, no one's departure can break you. So stand tall, smile, live with grace, and know that when he looks back, he'll realize that the best thing you ever did was choose yourself. Trust the process of healing. Healing isn't something that happens overnight. It's a journey, filled with good days and hard ones. Steve Harvey always reminds us that it's okay to feel hurt. It's a natural part of being human. But the key is not to let that pain define you. Take each day as it comes. Some mornings, you'll wake up feeling strong and independent, and other days, memories might creep in. On those tough days, remind yourself that it's okay to feel. It's okay to acknowledge the pain, but don't let it consume you. Surround yourself with people who uplift your spirit. Talk to a friend who understands. Journal your thoughts, not as a way to dwell on the past, but as a way to release the emotions you've been holding in. Healing is not linear, and that's okay. Steve often says that growth happens in the quiet moments, when you're alone with your thoughts, choosing to love yourself despite the hurt. Trust that each small step forward is building a stronger version of you. And remember, healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing to move on despite the scars. Redefine your future. One of the most liberating realizations is that your future is not tied to someone who couldn't value you. Steve Harvey's wisdom teaches us to envision a life where you're the center of your own happiness, not dependent on anyone else for validation. Take this time to set new goals. Dream bigger than you ever have before. What are the things you always wanted to do but held back because of him? Maybe it's traveling solo, starting that passion project, or focusing on your health and wellness. Instead of seeing this breakup as a setback, see it as a reset, a chance to rebuild your life from the ground up. Reimagine your future with yourself as the priority. When you choose to focus on your growth, you're making a powerful statement that you're no longer waiting for someone else to make you feel complete. When he sees that you're not just surviving but thriving, it'll force him to reflect on his own choices. He'll realize that while he was busy taking you for granted, you were busy becoming the best version of yourself. Don't give him the satisfaction. One of the biggest mistakes people make after being hurt is trying to make the other person see how much pain they caused. Steve Harvey's advice is simple. Don't give him the satisfaction of knowing he got to you. When you react with anger or sadness, it shows that he still has control over your emotions. But when you keep your composure, when you act like his actions didn't break you, it shifts the power dynamic entirely. Let him wonder why you didn't react the way he expected. Let him question why you're not reaching out or seeking closure. That silence will speak volumes. It'll force him to think about what he did and why you're not affected the way he thought you would be. And while he's stuck in his own confusion, you'll be busy reclaiming your life, focusing on your growth, and surrounding yourself with people who value you. Remember, the best way to prove your strength is to live without showing him that his actions left a mark. Live with intentional joy. Steve Harvey believes that happiness is a choice, one you make every single day. After being hurt, it's easy to fall into a cycle of self-pity, replaying the moments that broke your heart. But what if you chose joy instead? Wake up each morning with the intention to find something beautiful in the day. Whether it's a walk in the park, a good book, or a phone call with a friend, let these little moments remind you that life still has so much to offer. Happiness doesn't mean you're completely healed. It means you're choosing to find light even when life feels heavy. It's about reclaiming your power to decide how you feel. When you focus on building your own happiness, it no longer matters whether he regrets losing you, because your life is full and your heart is healing. The ultimate realization. One day he'll look back and realize that his actions didn't break you. They built a stronger version of you. He'll see that the woman he thought he could hurt moved on without bitterness, without resentment, and without waiting for his apology. And that realization, it'll be a heavy one, because he'll know that while he was busy playing games, you were busy leveling up. He'll understand that you didn't just move on, you moved up. You became wiser, stronger, and more in tune with your own worth. Steve Harvey's words resonate here. Sometimes the person who hurt you will never see your value until they see someone else appreciating it. By the time he realizes his mistake, you'll be too far ahead to even consider looking back. Closing reflection. Choosing peace over drama, growth over resentment, and self-love over pain is how you truly confuse a man who thought he could break you. You don't need to prove anything to him. Just live in a way that reflects your worth. The greatest revenge isn't making him regret his actions. It's becoming the woman he never thought you could be. A woman who stands tall despite the hurt, who finds joy in her own company, and who never lets someone's lack of respect make her question her own value. So choose you. Choose to heal. Choose to move forward without carrying the weight of someone else's mistakes. Because at the end of the day, your happiness is yours to create, and no one can take that away from you. And if you found strength in these words, consider subscribing for more uplifting messages that remind you of your power. Remember, you are resilient, you are worthy, and you are unstoppable.